My name is Kimaea Kirifi-Ali'ifa'alogo. I am 32 years old. I'm married to O LA'U and I have 2 children, Micah and Ayla. I grew up all over the place with my mum and my sister. I was in Auckland, Samoa, Hokianga, Dunedin, New Plymouth, Hamilton, Otara, and then over here in Brisbane. So my mum is Māori, Evelyn Ruha Hall, and she grew up in Auckland, but she is originally from Te Whānau Apanui and Ngāti Porou on the east coast. My dad is Samoan, Maluoaiga Kirifi, and he's based in New Plymouth, so Taranaki, and he grew up for a short stint of his life in Samoa, in Iwa, Savai'i, but the rest of it was based in Auckland. And representing my culture is very important for me because both my Māori side and my Samoan side, I feel like we're a very proud people, and I feel like in this modern age that it's almost getting washed out, and based over here now in Australia, there's less people who feel connected to their roots, and I feel that when we moved over from New Zealand, I felt so distant from my Māori culture and my Samoan culture, and I feel like since being here in 2012 we moved over, since being here that I've just been trying to advocate it and trying to keep it alive in my family and keep it alive in my community, and in doing so it's just made me really want to wear that pride on my skin. So I've been getting little tattoos here and there, like on my arms, on my hand, on my legs, and it's been kind of a segue, almost like a temporary fix until I get the real deal. So I've made it a mission of mine to get my malu to represent my Samoan family and my Samoan culture, as well as getting my moko kauai in the next few years to do the same for my Māori side. Being half Māori, half Samoan, I definitely did feel like in the early days that I wasn't worthy of getting a malu. About 5 years ago, my auntie from America, she was here in Brisbane and her daughters were getting their malu. And she asked me, I think it was like a day before, she's like, Seta, like my middle name, she was like, Seta, you should join the girls and get your malu. And I remember feeling like straight away in my body saying, yes, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to. But then this voice inside me as well was saying, like, oh my gosh, you're gonna go get guard with the most Samoan cousins that you have. Like, these girls grew up in Samoa, they know Fa'a Samoa, they speak Samoan fluently, and they look Samoan. So everything about them just screams, I'm a Samoan woman. And then me standing next to them, I felt so unworthy, like I wasn't at their level, and why should I be getting a malu? And on top of that, I didn't speak Samoan, and I still don't speak Samoan. I'm trying to learn, I'm taking lessons, but yeah, I just felt more Māori than anything at that point. So I turned it down, and then over those years have been trying to almost justify myself, or just trying to get up to that level that I put up there on my own. Like, no one else put that up, it was purely internal. And it's only just last year that I had a proper talk to my dad, to my husband, and to my sister, and kind of realized that my not knowing as much Samoan as someone else was just that spirit of comparison, and that my actions and my service do reflect that of, what being Samoan is. So once I realized that, I was just so much more confident in myself and know that one aspect of me shouldn't hold me back from feeling Samoan enough. So the reasons for wanting to get a malu, I think personally, I have always viewed it as something that's really beautiful. I've always been really proud of my culture, and as the oldest in my family, both on my Māori side and my Samoan side, I think in the beginning I felt like it was a natural thing to do, that as the oldest it's something that I should be doing. But the older I got, I realized it wasn't that at all. It was just that I felt like it was just meant to be. Like I've always felt like I'm going to get this, and now I'm at a stage where I feel like I'm ready. So when I had a chat to my dad about the process, I think for him, he's such a forward-thinking person. He's always been that way, where he's taught us from a young age to look after your own home first, and not to worry about social pressures or extended family pressures, and that I need to make sure my own kids are eating.
Malofie, Talofa, and thank you so much for this opportunity to help my daughter out, Kimaea. My name is Maluoaiga Kimaea Kirifi. So I was born and raised in a village in Samoa, a village called Iva Fasarileangastawai. My first ever tattoo, I'm not sure if you noticed it, is on when we were young. We used to put a stick or a matchstick on your hand, and then people and kids will burn that stick, and it will go right down to your skin, and then you got burned and go like this. So I still got a mark. I don't know what I was trying to draw, but then I like tattoo, but I don't think probably a little bit like that. I just didn't want a full body tattoo. I don't know what got that to do the whole bit. But
did it ever make you consider getting one yourself as a young kid and as an adult?
The question never entered my mind, Kimaea, which is a very good question, but I never ever felt like I'm gonna get one.
When I was talking to Nana about it, she said, because I asked that were there any of her siblings that had a Maluoaiga, and she said no, and because a lot of it was heavily influenced from Ariel and like the church settings, and that they were very against it because of the church beliefs.
I truly believe that. So, but I still don't know why Dad eventually got to do a better. And the funny thing too, he wasn't a Matai. He didn't have a title. Apparently he didn't want to be one, even though he was offered or given a chance many times.
I remember when you were here in Brisbane, and Auntie Lati, your sister, her daughters were getting guard here, and it's from the same tufunga who's actually I'm meeting on Monday, and she offered me a spot, and she said that she was happy to pay for me to get my malu done with the girls. And I'd always thought of getting one done, but it was just so on the spot, and it was like, make a decision, it's happening in the next couple of days, and don't worry, I'll pay for it. And I remember kind of panicking and feeling like, those thoughts going through my head, where I was like, I don't even know how to speak Samoan, and I don't know how to do this. And then I started comparing my own journey and myself to my cousins who were getting guard, where I was like, they're so Samoan. They're like the most Samoan cousins that we have. And I felt like if I was going to go into that I just didn't feel worthy amongst them. That I just wasn't up to their level. And I remember vaguely you encouraging me and you saying like, hey, if you want to do it, you can do it. And that kind of took me off guard as well, because I had put it on such a pedestal that, oh, you're a real Samoan if you get this done. And then for you to kind of say, oh yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it. Like if you think that's something you'd like to do, I'm happy for you to. Like I was waiting for this big talk and are you sure you're ready and this and this, but that caught me off guard as well. And it's taken this long, which is what I think is like 4 years, for me to feel confident in my Samoanness and in myself, that I am ready and that I am worthy and that we are on all different journeys. What do you think about all of the words I just said?
All right, let me repeat everything that you just said. Like I said to Kimaea, I think I'm just a different person from my brothers and sisters, and I encourage you and commend you with your choice. If that's your choice, so be it. So for you, my daughter, they want to do it. I really, hats off to you, and I commend you for considering it. I think you've done your homework, and your heart is right, and your heart is pure for doing this. And that's what matters. Just time to reflect it. It's a sense that you get to a spot now in your lifeline that you're ready for it, and it means something to you now. If you rushed into it back then, maybe you won't. But now, I think it's the journey that you're ready for. Well done.
Thank you. Do you have any words of advice for me after I get GARD? Because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to agree with my decision or with your blessing or Nana's blessings or those kind of things, and I fully anticipate I will be challenged, and I'm ready for that. But do you have any words of Jack Kirifi advice for me when it comes to those moments?
All right. It's gonna be darts flying everywhere, whether you are full Samoan or half Samoan or quarter Samoans. Some Palangis have a bear, as you've probably seen. Some Palangis that live in Samoa for a long time, they have a bear, which is the tau in Samoa. For you, if that's a flying, Kimaea, don't worry about those bullets or knives or whatever comes. As long as you know who you are, the reason why you do it, and your heart is pure, that's all it matters. That's all it matters. Don't even argue with anybody. You show your legs proudly, because that's why you every time you siva, you gotta show them. That's why you put it on. You can't hide it. But if any, which I doubt it very much, Kimaea, doubt it very much, that is everyone that's got that, whether you speak Samoan or not, straight away they respect that person. One is the decision to do it. Second is to represent your whānau, your whakapapa, your family. And then third, it's the pain that you go through. You're the one that went under the knife, so to speak. You know what I mean? And then the fourth one is that you're wearing it for life. It's something that they don't have to look at you again and say, oh, it's Kimaea Samoan. As soon as they see your malu, they know straight away you are, and you're representing your family. No one's gonna go against you, Kimaea. And if it does happen, hey, the proudest moment of your life is that you tattoo your history, your family, your whakapapa, so to speak, on your body. So you're representing them well. Doesn't really matter what everyone else has said.
You're right.
Yeah, you go, girl.
My family have been really supportive when it comes to this journey of getting my malu, because I think number one, they know how important it is to me. Both my Māori family and my Samoan family. My Māori family have been nothing but supportive, just actually rooting for me and cheering and wanting photos and videos. And it's really hard because everyone is based in New Zealand. My Samoan family have also been very supportive. I mean, I got asked to do it like 5 years ago, and then now have only just felt ready. My Nana, although she's got very strict and strong Christian beliefs, and she believes that this doesn't align with those beliefs, although she has that thinking, she's still very supportive and is praying for me and wishing me well for my journey.
Hello, Maya.
Yeah.
Maluoaiga.
I'm good. How are you? Oh, yeah, wait. Manuia whawhatai aia oi.
Maluoaiga whawhakai wa kaulerofa Samoa.
Oh, just that much. That was it.
My first name is Leatalua. Leatalua Senetima Aliusio. That's my father's baptized name, Aliu. I was grow up at a village, Eva.
Mm.
That's where my dad be a reverend in their village long time, more than 10 years.
No, I didn't know that Siaki was a Songai Miti.
Eh?
Siaki.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a better.
Oh, your grandfather.
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, he is. We have a high position in the church. If somebody make a better in their time, and then you away from the church, because there's a rule in a church: if you have a better, and you a devil. Yeah, that's why we ask him not to take their things. Think about his position on the church, but he really want to do some better. You like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I see your pretty face now.
That's oh. And I can see your pretty face too. And he really, because he was listening, the man was having a better for him. Yeah,
Did he have the kids when he did it? Or no kids yet?
No, and the kids already in the world.
Oh.
That time I was in Apia with my mom. She's still alive. And then she came over from Samoa. Asked wanna do some better. And we said, no, what about your position in the church? You're gonna away from the church. And then he can't stop. He really wanna do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he have a better. But the thing is, the man was doing better for him. He said to him, the time when he making a better, he asked him not to go by yourself anywhere, especially the night time. Wait till you are strong and you finish your better, and then you allowed to go by yourself. But Siaki can't stop. We stay, sometimes I go follow him because the man had a better, make a rule like him. Sometimes if I'm tired to walk, and I said, you go by yourself. Yeah, that's why, I think that's why this happens coming up to him. And he died when he's 47 years.
Oh, how long did he get his better before he passed away?
Might be 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite late.
I'm not sure if I had a better 1 year, nearly 1 year.
Was there anyone else in your siblings and Siaki siblings that had one too?
A lot of men in Hawaii.
But your brothers and sisters?
Eh?
What about your brothers and sisters?
No. No one of us had that thing. But he asked me to come and and do something else yucky. And I said, no, I don't want to hurt my body. It's not a easy thing. It's really hurt you. But it's good for you guys, young people, not the old people like me. Are you going to do when?
So 1 more week.
1 more week? Oh, yeah, do good. Yeah, I pray for you.
Thank you.
Be strong, and whatever the man doing things for you, his rule gonna tell you, yeah, you be listen to him. Okay? In Samoa, got a rule about their things, but be careful.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I remember in my prayer your things next Monday, eh? Okay.
I feel like your service to community, so what you're doing to preserve your Samoan culture in the community, how I feel like that embodies being Samoan. Well, I volunteer for a radio station, 4EB Radio, and I co-host the show Pacific Wave Radio. In that show, our main priority is to showcase the talents of our Māori Pasifika people, whether it's musicians or sports people, anything, along there, as well as encouraging our youth to be proud of their identity, to, even though we're very outnumbered here in Australia, that it's okay to be different and it's okay to be proud of your roots. Other than that, I just the usual, service my family and try to be there as much as I can. I'm not the best at that, to be honest, because I do keep myself busy with a lot of projects in the community, but you can only try what you can try. I also founded Brown and Busy, which has been on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, but it's meant to try and unite our brown people who are trying to do things in their life, who have either got businesses or are just, busy with kids and managing footy teams and managing your own work at home life. There's that. Also, I attend a church, Divine Ministries, which is multicultural, but at the same time, it's we're predominantly Samoan based. And I feel like, everyone in Samoa knows that Samoa whakawai lea toa. So I feel like getting back in touch with, with God and building our relationship with God for not only myself, but my family, also makes me feel like it's drawn me closer to my culture as a result. People are divided about when you should be showing your malu. And I know traditionally you're not supposed to show it unless you're doing a siva or proper customs is when it should come out. I've had my friends tell me stories of not knowing even their nana having a malu until later on before she passed, seeing it then, and them saying to them, well, you don't know about it because there hasn't been a time where I've needed to show it. Versus my personality, which is very out there, very in your face, hopefully respectfully. For me, I don't wear anything nasty and revealing anyway. That's not my forte. Good for you, it's for you. But I don't feel like I'm the kind of person that would shy away from being proud of my markings, that I will still wear shorts that just go above my knee. I'm not going to wear booty shorts all of a sudden now that I'm God. It's more so I don't feel like I'm going to change my whole wardrobe to hide it until an event. I feel like I'm still going to wear the same clothes, but just be proud that it is kind of showing a little bit, because I want it to start conversations. I want people to ask me about it, especially over here in Australia where our culture is not as out there like it is in New Zealand and in Samoa. I want people to ask me questions about it because I want to hopefully educate and encourage those conversations. Yeah, I've got a few tattoos and I am a bit nervous about the method of tattooing with O, but at the same time I'm kind of excited because I haven't done it before. So for me it's just another new experience that I'll be going into. Same time, I'm one of those people that one way I kind of hype myself up to brace myself for something is thinking about all the people that have done it before me and telling myself that I'm tougher than them. So I think about like other people who have handled the pain of that before, it makes me feel stronger because I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. So just do it. I was nervous, but not like scared nervous. I was nervous, just that excited nerves, and I was just excited to get it done. And I think knowing that I was second was the whole nervousness, was just having to wait all those hours before it was my turn. Yeah, I was stoked. And then, so on the morning of, we got there to the house for an 8 o'clock start for prayers. You know, they did their part talking about the process and, you know, the formal Samoa stuff. And then, then twice that. It was like, I'm in there, okay, let's start. Like, it was real quick, like, I think it was 15 minutes max. And then she stood up and got measured up and she started. And just watching it made me just feel even more excited for my turn. But I actually had a nap. During her part, I went to the car and got a nap because we were just, I don't know, we were so tired for preparing and just life in general. And I wanted to make sure I had my strength for when it came to my turn. So all out, it was 2.5 hours for the first leg, and then a half-hour break, and then 2 hours for the second leg. And the first leg, I honestly felt confident, like I can do this. Like, it's painful, but this is fine, this is bearable. I was playing on my phone, a video called my cousin, and you know, was able to hold conversation and sing songs. And then when it came to the second leg, it was so sore. Like, it just felt like the pain finally turned on. And during the process, like, Leo would be there holding my hands and like squeezing them to try and like distract me from the pain as well, to take that tenseness out, and then also massaging my head. And Tway told him, like, here's some advice, do it really hard, you know, so that will help, you know, calm her. Honestly, he was like just kind of playing around with it for a while, so I had to kind of remind him, like, I actually need you to focus, because his legs were sore too, because he'd sat through all of Tway's and then was now sitting through the 3rd hour of mine, and yeah, his hips were starting to give way. But all in all, it was like really painful, but then all of a sudden it was finished. And I didn't get that, personally, I didn't get that overwhelming feeling, the overwhelming emotional feeling of like, I did it, and start crying or feeling emotional. If anything, when it was done, I felt like, cool, I've achieved it. Like, I've achieved it, I've done it, it's done. and I was happy, and that was it. Like there was no big emotion for it. There was pride, but nothing so big that I was overwhelmed with emotion. Yeah, I was just happy I finished. My nana, who is 82 this year, she's in Auckland and she stayed awake for the whole process and waited. She spoke to me beforehand. Halfway through we video called, and then at the end of it we video called as well, and she was just so proud and happy that I was still alive. Happy that I was telling me that I was strong, that I wasn't crying, and yeah, she was just really proud, and my parents were really proud too. I had a couple cousins who came through as well to support. Yeah, everyone was just really proud of me. That's why it's my soul, that's why it's my girl. It's funny because a lot of people think we've known each other for years, like we grew up together, or we, you know, as soon as I moved here to Australia that we made a friendship, but we've literally known each other for like 3 years, maybe even just 2. And, you know, we were close before this, but I feel like becoming each other's soul and going through this journey together, that it has brought us a lot closer, and we're tied, you know, and we've got a bond through something so much deeper than friendship and fitness and food. So yeah, it's really special, and it was kind of like, it honestly feels like a marriage, where me and Lil were, you know, a partnership, but then once we became married, it was official and it was sealed. And I feel the same way with Tuai, that it's like that too. I feel like I'm more mindful of, I see more Malus around, that's for sure. It's like I notice them more now. I don't know if it's just my spider senses, or if it's just, it's kind of like, you gotta understand, it's like when you're pregnant and all of a sudden you see pregnant people everywhere. I feel like it's kind of the same thing. Once you have one, you become more aware of all these other people who've got them too, and you see the similarities and the differences, different styles. I haven't, in terms of like things changing, I haven't changed my wardrobe to hide it or to cover it. And I spoke about this before getting my malu done as well, that it wasn't something I wished to do, not just because I'm trying to be defiant or trying to, you know, tell people to stick it. I've explained it to family and friends that I feel like I'm in a position where, in the public and in the community, where people feel comfortable enough to come and approach me. I have literally every week at least had a small handful of people, either online or in person, ask me questions, and they've never had the courage to ask other people because they don't want to be disrespectful, or they don't want to come across disrespectful, either because it's not their culture, or it is their culture and they just feel afraid of asking these questions and getting kickback because they're afkasi. So for that reason as well, is I love to have it on display, and not on purpose. I don't purposely say I'm wearing short tights today because I want the world to see. It's more so I'm just wearing short tights today because I'm wearing short tights today, and if people see it, people see it, and if they ask me a question, then I'll gladly answer and educate to the best of my knowledge. And it feels like I'm doing our culture, you know, justice by helping others like me find out more about their culture and ask the questions that they've been dying to ask but are just afraid of how to word it. Yeah. So my Autufuma was Suluape. He's based in Logan, and I'm pretty sure he's the only certified tufuma here in Queensland. So he's like council approved. He operates out of his own studio in Slacks Creek, and nothing but praise for him and his family and the Kosos. I felt really bad for them actually at one point because my thighs are not small, and they're a little bit on the small end, and had a bit of a laugh because they're literally trying to lift my thighs up, and like, oh, going your way, and I'm just like, sorry. But like it was really good natured, very professional. I didn't feel at all uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, when they're doing this on you, when you're getting guard, you're only wearing a small ear and your undies, and you know they've got to get in places and they've got to lift your leg in places so that they can reach these spots to tattoo. So knowing that these men, it was their job and their duty to do this for me, I felt comfortable, and I never felt uncomfortable at all. So highly recommend. Obviously the Sulapi name has got a lot of mana behind it, and you know, rightly so. I just felt like it was the perfect experience. So to summarize my journey, I think it's definitely an internal one. Like first and foremost, throughout even just talking, that I had to address my own emotions, my own concerns, my own feelings of unworthiness. And once all that was pushed to the side, acknowledged and pushed to the side, I feel like I should have had this forever. Like I feel like I have earned the right to be God. I feel like you know, I've earned the right in my family, not just in my family, but in my culture, to wear this, and I wear it with so much pride. And just knowing how I felt beforehand and wearing it so proudly now, I just hate that it took me so long, but I also understand that I needed to go through these feelings and this process in order to do something like this today, so that I can empathize with others in my situation. Oh my gosh, so my least favorite part was the after, the healing. We have to be for forward 3 times a day, was the instruction. So I was super lucky. My husband took the week off to look after me. Thank you. It was 3 times a day being for forward, and it was literally Dettol soap scrubbed on my legs, and then bepanthen and rubbed really hard down all the patterns to make sure I didn't get any ink poisoning, blood poisoning, all that kind of thing. And yeah, it was hard. It was really tough. And then not only that, I had to sleep on the falla while I was healing. Well, not I had to. You have to sleep on the falla that you're tattooed on while you're healing. And the way my body was built, it was really sore. Like, if anything, the most painful process for me was the healing, because my back was sore from sleeping on the floor. I'm a princess. I've been spoiled. I'm sorry. My bad. But yeah, the healing's no joke. And plus you've got the other aspects, you know, I couldn't go out at night by myself, couldn't be alone. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say superstition, but at the same time, superstition around it. Out of respect for the culture and for my grandparents, and for Leo, because, you know, his duty of care was to look after me. I just made sure I abide by those rules and just kept safe. And I'd say my favourite part was the saʻamanga. I mean, it was also kind of weird because having turmeric and then egg in your head is not the greatest feeling, but that's all part of it. It's a package deal. You can't just pick and choose, and just being able to siva, stand up sore, but being able to siva, and even though it wasn't all of my family out, you know, in the group that was there, it was mainly Tuais, it still felt like my family. I still felt so much pride in their faces, even though it was Tuai, but it was like I felt that same pride for me as well, and I'm sure they also felt that same love for me as well. So that was my favourite part, was being able to siva and seeing family gathered and feeling that pride and feeling that sense of achievement, and then being able to share online with my family and friends and receiving that same love back. So yeah. So my advice for anyone who is wanting their malu, and especially if you're in the same kind of situation as me, where you have those reservations and you have that self-doubt, is speak with your family, especially speak with people that you feel safe sharing these feelings with. Speak with your parents, speak with your grandparents, get as much factual information as you can so that you're well informed of the process. You're well informed of everything from the cost to how many days it takes to recover, because mine took just under a week, but some people will take weeks to recover. Everything to what resources you're going to need on the day, and really ask a lot of questions so that you are well informed, so at least you've got the factual stuff out of the way, and then address those emotions later, which is, do I deserve this, or am I worthy of this? And at the end of the day, you're going to be the only person who can tell you that you're worthy of it. And no matter what anyone else says, it's still going to come down to you. So I honestly think if you just write it down, the reasons why you don't feel worthy, I swear to you, if you go take it to another person, they'll tell you you're overthinking it and that you do deserve this and you are worthy of this. So I just encourage you to go for it.
O mafutanga nei elele le fia fia o fai mala e o aiga e o ile tala lele e